Welcome to the Movie Madhouse. I'm Rob.
I'm James.
I'm Jason.
It's nice. We get together, we stir the pot just before we come online.
Do we need to get into rehash that conversation, or are we moving past that now?
The one about Godzilla?
Yes.
I don't know. People at home are going, what happened?
Okay, Godzilla -1 is available locally. We're going to Windsor tomorrow. I'm going to Windsor tomorrow with a group.
-1.
Oh, well played. That
Yes. Damn you. I've been so hyped to see this flick, and yeah. And then James has no interest. And what did you say, James?
I said it doesn't look that good.
Well, Jason had mentioned it's Godzilla filmed by the creators.
Yes,
you said
heralded as one of the greatest Godzilla movies, and is that a high bar? I fully expected it to be like a man in suit.
No. We know they're way past that now.
That would be OG Godzilla, though.
That would be, yes.
And not entertaining. But I read that Gareth Edwards saw the movie and was like, "That's what a Godzilla movie should be like." And like, look, because his was not so much a Godzilla movie, but
he did the first one of the new run.
Yeah,
Matthew Broderick one.
No, that was Roland Emmerich.
Not to talk about that one, okay?
Oh yeah, that's right.
We try not to talk about that one.
And I love Gareth Edwards, but that was kind of a boring movie that didn't have a whole lot of Godzilla.
Oh, Godzilla King of Monsters.
No, Godzilla, the one right before King of Monsters.
I don't remember that.
The one with Bryan Cranston in the first 20 minutes.
Yeah. And the twins
Taylor
from
Johnson is the big hero.
That's right, because Elizabeth Olsen is what's her name's in there.
Yes. Yeah.
In the movie, they're married.
The dude was doing a sister kind of thing. Yes.
Yeah.
I
remember. Yes. Well,
it's that memorable.
Yeah.
Yes.
Searching the name of Godzilla, man. Come on. There's just some bars. Come on.
Well, speaking of messing up a franchise, that's our topic today. That was
not necessarily messing up a franchise according to my list.
No, that one comes next year with the Godzilla X Kong. Was it Hidden Earth or whatever? The next installment of that universe.
Yes, Godzilla. It's Godzilla and Kong against another mysterious monster that somehow has gone unnoticed.
Yeah. So that's the one that's going to be the trouble.
Oh.
Anyways, so we're getting into movies that are ruining franchises.
Basically, anything in a franchise that should have been a standalone movie, and it probably would have done better.
Okay.
Or something for the franchise.
Yeah, I kind of struggled with the concept a little bit, but what I've landed on here, and I'm going to look at some of these like remakes or sequels that the film itself had potential, but if it would have been reworked to not be a part or try to be a part of something else,
exactly,
it would work. Okay?
The example I gave was Ghostbusters Answer the Call.
Yes.
Because literally, if they had just pulled the Ghostbuster out of that and made it a film with Melissa McCarthy and all the girls that were in that would have been a really good film. But because it was linked into that franchise,
they could have done their own spin on it without having to ape so much of the original material.
Yep.
You could do your own thing. Nobody's gonna mind.
Do a separate show like Ghost Facers or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Do a play on the words.
Well, Ghost Facers are from Supernatural. That's the ghost hunting show in Supernatural.
Okay.
Yeah.
I never made it past season 1, so maybe someday.
Someday. Maybe
Maybe
you can
someday.
binge it.
So I don't have these in an order of 5.
Why not?
Because that's I don't think that's fair, because all these have potential for greatness. So I've got a list of 7 here. I'm just going to pick 5 out of it. So we'll
Okay.
call this my number 5 then.
Because
This was a tough list.
it was. That's why I figured 5, not 10.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was good.
And
Okay, so I'll try and do a quick rank here.
I've listed them as like my number 1 is the one that I think would have done the best away from the franchise. That's the way I've listed them. But we'll just start counting down. Pick one for 5.
I'm going to go with the 2014 remake of RoboCop.
Oh,
I
Intriguing.
think because they didn't really keep so much from the original. It wasn't a true and honest remake. I think if they would have eliminated and tried to make it so much like that, but not enough, they just do your own thing a little bit more, because it didn't have the satire that the original had. It
yeah.
had none of that. So if you're not going to lean into that at all, then leave everything behind. Okay, you
That's a
can't
good
make
example.
what made that work doesn't work unless you give into it. So
There's a reason RoboCop became as popular as it did.
right.
I know when the video came out, I'd buy that for $1.
I'm quite sure I have bought it for $1 at a yard sale
Yep, somewhere, absolutely.
somewhere. Yeah.
All right, James, what was your pick?
Okay, so for number 5, I only had 4, so I'll put this at number 5 and try and think of a number 4. Okay, so there were two of my picks. I grouped at least 2 or 3 movies together, just because it's similar. My number 5 are the movies Scream 4, 5, and 6. So the back half of the trilogy of the second trilogy of the Scream movies, just because I think the original Scream trilogy is like just classic films, and the motivation just kind of started to go really far downhill. Like in Scream 4, it's her cousin who's jealous of the attention. In 5, it's they had a thin with the lead girl. They had a thin connection with her being the illegitimate child of like Billy Loomis, and then some of the friends that just wanted to kill them to be like social famous, I think, like Facebook famous or TikTok or something. And
Yeah.
then the last one was, okay, you killed my psychopathic son. I'm a psychopathic parent who's now going to kill you. It's just the original trilogy, they had far better motivations.
I can
So
agree on that one.
these ones is just, had they been movies on their own, it distanced them from the Scream franchise, and they probably would have been better, even though they did well.
I got a comment there. I'm just going to say Josiah has put in here, still have not seen the newest RoboCop. I got to say it's worth a watch, but don't expect RoboCop.
Yeah.
It wasn't bad. It's not that memorable.
Yeah. And then he says 100% agree on the Scream. And you're 100% right. The benefit of the Scream killer as opposed to Michael, Freddy, they're always the same person. Scream, Ghostface constantly changes. So you constantly have to think up new people that would fit. And those stories are perfect independent, not Scream, but, Stab or,
And they had a nice little bookend at from 1 to 3.
Yeah. I think they stretched it when they tried to put 4 in there. But like you said, 4, 5, and 6, and now 7. Who knows what's going on with that? So,
yeah.
Without having seen anything past 3, maybe I feel like Scream is just a wave of PTSD revenge flicks.
Yeah, there you go.
It's just a never-ending wave. Just keeps on rolling.
Revenge of the Slasher. There's a great title for one of them. See?
Well, that's when they start putting tag names under them. Where Police Academy kind of fell off when they started putting more tags under.
Yep. My number 5 that I picked was Red Dawn, the remake with Chris Hemsworth.
I enjoyed that. I really enjoyed that.
I did too, but it's not Red Dawn.
No.
Like, you look back to the original Red Dawn, because that's what I always go by, is what was the core of the film.
Well, and the fact that they PG'd it.
Exactly.
That was a big one, yes. And it sat on the shelf for 2 years before they released it?
Yep.
At least 2 or 3 years, because Chris Hemsworth shot that and Cabin in the Woods right before he got Thor. So he still had like the short hair, and it was right before he blew up. So then after Thor and Avengers comes out, they throw these in.
Yep. Cabin in the Woods is awesome. This one, that's what I mean. If they had stripped away any reference to Red Dawn and like that, I think it would have been a great film all by itself.
Yeah, just call it something else.
Exactly.
It had nothing to tie it to the original.
No.
So
people hiding in the woods was as close as it got to the original Red Dawn.
Yeah, they're just trying to get by on name recognition.
Yeah, I think you'll find that with a lot of my picks and probably your picks too. So Jason, what's your number 4-ish?
My number 4. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Ghostbusters. Answer Your Call. Well, even though it's just called Ghostbusters 2016. Yes, that was a stellar cast, as we'd seen, because a few of them had already worked together on SNL and whatnot. But it's a solid flick in that regard. But to ham-fist the connection to the original franchise, no, it was not needed. It was not needed. It felt desperate.
And then go to flip everything in there. Like, not only were the 4 guys now 4 girls, Annie Potts' character is now a guy.
Yeah.
Like, they literally flipped everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they also distanced the connection between the original franchise by having the original cast members make cameos just as like random people.
Yeah.
Or a bust in the hallway.
Yeah.
Harold Ramis was in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I give him props for that.
Well, he showed up. That's good, right?
Yeah. No, not him. I mean, I give the movie props for doing that.
Yeah. No. You're right. But again, that's just it. If they pull out those cameos, pull out the Ghostbusters reference, that's a pretty good flick.
It's fun. It was fun. And yes, Hemsworth was hilarious. He was. I don't discount that part of it. It's the having that connection, trying desperately to have that connection, just it sours it for me.
Yeah, here.
But it
is right. They didn't have the charm the original had.
Mm-hmm. No.
They were trying so hard to mimic it that they screwed it up.
Right. That's why with Ghostbusters Afterlife, you had a kid who was raised on the set of the previous films. Like, yeah, of course he's going to get it right.
He knows the source material.
Right.
Deeply. Okay, James, what's your number 4?
I still haven't been able to come up with one.
Really?
Can I go last for this one?
You already are.
Oh shit.
What do you mean he already is?
Oh, never mind. Well, go ahead. Do yours, Rob, and then come back to him.
Mine's The Mummy. Tom Cruise.
That one is really good, but can I copy that?
Yeah, absolutely. Because if they had kept away from and I get what they were trying to do, but I think they tried too hard to make it a franchise, and that's what destroyed what they had. Because you're right, the story is great.
Yeah,
I haven't watched it.
I thought Russell Crowe was awesome.
They did kind of ruin it for me.
Oh yeah, Russell Crowe is great.
Yeah, and the effects, they did not slack on the effects. Tom Cruise was great.
Yeah,
awesome action movie. Yeah,
but that's what I mean. They tried to make it all connected, and that's what I think really broke it down.
Yeah, because that was the start of the dark universe, and they just planned this whole thing out. Here's the movie. It fails. And then the whole thing just
Well,
crumbles.
I guess we're done. Yeah. Stupid. But if they had just made it a supernatural thing, not tried to link it to anything, I think it might have taken off more than this one because everyone was expecting Brendan Fraser, the
Right.
the mummy. And
Yeah.
it's cool because they did that nod. They had the Book of the Dead in the library, right?
That was it.
Yeah. And that's cool. If you want to do that, that's neat. But then they're trying to loop in, like they had the little cameos of the creature from the Black Lagoon and all this stuff. And it's like, just focus on your story. It will build. You don't see in Iron Man them talking about Thor and all this stuff. No.
They needed Oded Fair in there somewhere.
They only had Nick Fury cameo at the post credits.
Yeah, that was the only reference to anything else.
Exactly, but that's all you want. That's all you want to use for that first. You just want to give them the taste. Get that first taste for free.
Yeah.
They did not learn that lesson.
Yeah. But that could have been so good. But all right, that makes our 4 easy. Where is my signs? Number 3, Jason.
I'm gonna go with the 2018 Robin Hood. That's the one with Taron Egerton and
Jamie Foxx.
and Jamie Foxx. Yeah. Now I've only watched it once, right?
I've never heard of it.
And it's a fun flick. It's kind of Robin Hood meets Kingsman.
Interesting.
And that's the problem with it, is that it shares too much elements with the Kingsman that it feels like it's just trying to carbon copy it.
Kingsman
a little bit
in medieval times.
Yes.
So who did the film?
I don't know I don't think it was the same people. I'm not sure.
No, you wouldn't recognize the director's name.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
But it was supposed to also start another shared universe.
Okay, I'm sensing a trend.
But it could have worked. It could have been fun, but it needed some slight tweaking. And I think the Robin Hood aspect of it, I think they could have just made their own thing. If they were going to kind of lean more into a kind of Kingsman style, that's not the same guy, I know, but because it felt like that's what they were trying to do. I think they should have taken the Robin Hood aspect out of it. Build your own thing and not try to keep within a mythology, a previous thing.
Well, and again, going back to building a universe, I look at Marvel because they built it so solid at the beginning. Mm-hmm. But every single one of those first 6 films, they're standalone films.
Yeah.
If Marvel had fallen on its face, they could have said, oh, well, these movies are still good. Go watch them.
Right.
But these ones that they're trying to build a franchise on fail because they're trying too hard. Mm-hmm. That's what DC was doing.
Yeah. Oh, big time. Justice League.
You got to follow that Marvel initial approach anyway, where these are the movies we're making come hell or high water, and you make them.
Right.
Everybody watches that first one and, oh my God, it failed. I guess it's dead. No, what's coming down the pipe?
Right. But you can't overplay the hand. Again, just little tastes. Tastes. Gotta get the fish nibbling again.
James, what's your number 3? You got one of those?
My number 3 is Leatherface from 2017. Now this was sort of a revisionist. We're going to make our own prequel to the Sawyer family. So they have a character escape from a mental hospital with some other inmates and kidnaps a nurse along the way, and then goes on like a road trip thing while some Sawyer family stuff is going on over here. And it's a good movie on its own, and it doesn't look on the surface like a Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie, because a lot of the stuff happens on the road with these escaped inmates and the nurse, and a sort of Stockholm syndrome goes on where she becomes like sympathetic to their cause and they're on the run. And then towards the end of the movie, it's like somebody said, cut, whispered in the ear saying like, he's supposed to turn into Leatherface. Oh, and he turns on a dime and all of a sudden he's cutting up his face and kills the nurse and like cuts somebody else's face off and sews it onto it, and he's Leatherface. And that's the only real problem I had with the movie. But they pulled a big fast one on the audience where one of the other inmates that escapes is this big hulking guy with long brown hair. And you think like, well, obviously that's going to be Leatherface. And then he gets shot in the head, and the small, skinny, lanky guy is the one that turns into Leatherface. I'm like, that part makes no sense. They just decided to shoehorn that character as Leatherface. So the movie itself, had it not been connected to the Sawyer family at all, or that franchise, would have been a good escape road movie, in my opinion.
No, I agree. Yeah, you can't do that, especially once everybody knows the established character. Like Gunnar Hansen's freaking huge.
Yeah.
You can't have this skinny little. Okay.
No skin in the game. I've never watched any of that stuff.
Well, my number 3. Oh wait, Josiah put this. I wanted to say it here. It was trying to put too much into the movies. Sony did the same thing for Spider-Man, and yeah, they did.
Yeah.
Spider-Man 3 just packed, and they killed it. You know, Spider-Man 2, same thing, or My Amazing Spider-Man. So you're 100% right. My number 3, I'm going to just mute this microphone for a second. Yes, it was yours, James. Total Recall. Okay, I can turn it back on. And again, the movie itself was good. It's the connection to the name, because you go back to what was Total Recall. It's about a guy who thinks he's a secret spy on Mars trying to get air. And then you get this one, which is diving into the middle of the planet. And it did not have the same core that Total Recall had, to me.
Didn't have to do with Mars. They mentioned Mars.
What movie are you talking about?
Total Recall.
Total Recall.
The only Total Recall I remember had a 3-breasted hooker, and that was all the movie was about.
No, there was one that a certain person from this podcast was in. Remember? It's Colin Farrell.
No, I'm talking the movie you're talking about. I don't remember anything about a spy or anything. I just remember a 3-breasted hooker.
That's from the original 80s one.
Oh, that was in the new one, too.
Was
exactly. That's the only connection between them.
Oh, I see what you did there.
That is the only connection between them. That's somebody else's joke. They said, like, that's in the board meeting. So we're going to do a Total Recall movie. That's the one with the 3-breasted hooker. Make sure that's in.
Okay, I see what you did there. But yeah, like I said, I think that movie, like the story was good. I just think it shouldn't have been called Total Recall, and they shouldn't have tried to pull from that franchise when it isn't close enough. The story's not close enough.
I've only watched it once.
I've watched it twice.
I only watched it once because
second time for James.
It made me angry because it had nothing to do with the original, and that really turned me off from even giving it a chance. I finished the movie. I remember nothing about it other than I know it had the 3-boot hooker again. But I feel like if I were to rewatch it, it probably is a pretty good flick. Take it as a separate thing. Try not any connection. Maybe. Yeah, there's probably potential there, but I didn't give it a fair shot.
And honestly, that's why I watched it the second time, because the first time I was mad. I was upset because I was expecting the Total Recall stuff. But when I watched it the second time, like I said, that's when you see, okay, the story's solid. The story's there. It's just not connected to Total Recall. So you have to take it for what it is. And that's what I mean. If it had just been its own film, I think it would have done a whole lot better. Could have started its own franchise. The
extended director's cut is also fleshed out more, if it matters to anyone.
Yeah.
And you have Ethan Hawke.
I don't think I've seen that one then, because I don't remember Ethan Hawke in it.
Well, yeah, because in the theatrical, he says, you see when he's watching the video of himself, and he says like, what you think you know isn't real or whatever. But like in the extended cut, he comes up to the screen, he goes, "This is not your face." And when he's in the apartment and he plays the piano and the message comes on, you see the one guy. It's one of the faces you see on a passport in the safety deposit box. He starts talking and he takes off the disguise, and it's Ethan Hawke. So he used to look like Ethan Hawke before they captured him and changed his face.
Oh, see, now that's cool too.
Yeah, it's fleshed out a little better.
Josiah said, "Yeah, I've seen the new Total Recall, but it's not in my memory banks. Going to rewatch it now to analyze it. You can have it just injected into your memories, apparently. Just saying." All right, I had to go there. All right, number 2, Jason.
You should know that technology is a little closer than you may think. That's what Elon Musk's Neuralink is all about.
I don't doubt it. I
So
do not doubt it.
we're closer than you think. I'm going with the 2000 Mission Impossible 2.
Really?
Yes,
Interesting.
John Woo did that one, and where yes, the series does get into those like some of the crazy action stuff a little more as the series progresses. I feel like that one went too far too fast.
All hail Lord Elon. Someone's already had some.
Maybe she must be on Starlink. Yeah, I just feel like it went too hard too fast with the pow and the kazam of all the high action stuff, and it kind of started to leave some of the spy stuff behind that you have to have in Mission Impossible. So I think it's a fun action flick. Take out the Mission Impossible stuff, change some names, shuffle it up. It'll just be a standalone spy flick, and then you move on. You give us 3, which takes it dark and serious and kind of goes in the opposite direction a little bit more. But then after that, it finds its groove.
Do what Roger Moore did. Take all the cool stuff and make their own movie called Fire and Ice.
There you go.
It's a Bond movie, but it's not a Bond movie. And I think that's why it took off so much, is because it's a cult thing.
Yep. I remember that one.
See? All right, James, what's your number 2?
My number 2 is another one where I combined 2 films. It was Hellraiser Inferno and Hellraiser Hellworld. Now, if you're looking at the series proper, where they all featured Doug Bradley as Pinhead, this would be Hellraiser 5 and Hellraiser 8. And 8 would be the last one before they lowballed him on the salary and then just recast somebody to keep the rights. Anyway.
Inferno and which one?
Hellworld. Now, I think Inferno and possibly Hellseeker, I'm not sure, because Hellseeker, they brought back Kirsty, one of the stars of the first 2 films. And like Hellworld and Deader and stuff, where basically they found horror scripts and then they just kind of retooled them to be Hellraiser films. You throw Pinhead in there in a few places. Now, Inferno was about the only Hellraiser movie that actually creeped me out. But aside from the fact that the box, the lament configuration, shows up in the movie, it actually didn't have to. And Pinhead only shows up in a few places along with some Cenobites. But the movie's creepy enough, and it has its own mythology, that Pinhead is almost an afterthought. It didn't need to feature him at all. And it was all Craig Sheffer, and it was very, very cool and creepy. Hellworld, Pinhead, I think, shows up at the very end. I think he's not even the villain of the movie. The villain of the movie is like Lance Henriksen, who's just getting revenge because his son died in some demonic ritual, which may have involved the lament configuration, the box. But again, it didn't have to. And he's just getting revenge on all the people that were friends with him. And so this was also the one that one of the stars was a young pre-Superman Henry Cavill. And yeah, so those 2, I like the movies, but Pinhead was kind of an afterthought.
And see, I've never seen them. That's
okay.
Me either. But James, I have a serious question for you.
Okay, give me half a second. I got to rescue a dog.
Uh-oh. Oh, that's James Bond. Never mind. I'm just trying to do Mission Impossible.
I'm noticing a trend with his selections.
Yeah.
And I'm curious if he's dealing with like the Christmas season well.
Scream 4, 5, and 6, The Mummy, Leatherface, Hellraiser.
Like all horror movies, basically.
Yep. Oh, look at this. Oh, it's so cute. Adorable.
Somebody wanted to join the show.
Cuteness overload right there.
Okay. Before I ask you the question,
No, there's the puppy.
I need you to boop that snoot for me. Please boop that snoot for me.
Boop.
There we go.
All right. Um, I'm concerned about your selections in this list, James.
Why is that?
Oh, because we're hip deep into the Christmas season. Everything's supposed to be happy, holly, and jolly, and you're listing all horror movies. What's going on?
I honestly, with the exception of my number one, I honestly couldn't think of entries in the franchise because I was trying to think of Die Hard. I'm like, well, no, all the later entries are better than the first ones, and I didn't want to. I almost picked Tokyo Drift. I'm like, but there are threads in that movie that go through the rest of the series, so I can't. Aside from like Vin Diesel being tacked on at the end, it could have existed on its own, but I don't want it to.
Yeah. And that would not fall in this category. And even Josiah says horror movies are where it's at.
I get that's some people's bag. I was just a little concerned about your state of mind right now.
Oh, cute pop.
I love horror movies.
Well, let's get to my number two so that we can get to James's number one, because now I'm curious.
Yeah.
Okay. Mine is one that I really liked. Other than the fact that they put this name on it, and it was the Karate Kid.
The Kung Fu Kid.
Exactly.
I considered
it.
I considered it, but I haven't actually watched that whole movie, so
I haven't watched any of them.
I didn't bother.
Like if you tune out Karate Kid just and watch the film, it's good. Like legit. And that's what I mean. They should have just done a Jackie Chan martial arts film will do good on its own.
Yes.
You don't need to put Karate Kid in front of it.
I heard that there may be a new movie coming that's going to bridge the two. Bridge the OG, and Ralph Macchio is involved, and it's going to bridge it with the Jackie Chan Jaden one.
I better see Hilary Swank in there too then. That's all I got to say.
Do we really need a Karate Kid multiverse?
Apparently we do.
I couldn't give that movie a chance just because Jaden just After Earth killed me for Jaden. I couldn't give that kid a chance.
See, and that's the only movie I liked him in. I love that movie.
Actually.
I thought that was a great movie.
You do always tend to be in the minority on a lot of your opinions. I will give you that.
And that's why this group works so well. All right. Now we are there. It is time. Jason, what's your number one?
Okay. Again, there's not really an order for mine, but this works. And this was came out of left field, but when I was looking over lists of like remakes and sequels and blah, 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 2010 Smokin' Aces 2 Assassin's Ball.
It's all right.
It is fun, but they overplay the Tremors family situation.
Oh yeah.
Which the Tremor, it was just the Tremor brothers. We don't need cousins and shit. Okay, unnecessary.
And the grandpa and the sister and the
and like they went too weird with it. Went too far with that aspect of it to try and ham-fist it into the Smoking Aces universe, which does there need to be a universe for that?
And they kind of lessened the impact of Laszlo Soot.
Yeah, exactly. So, but it was still fun. Take out those connections again. You don't need those threads. They were unnecessary. You could have just twisted your own little things around, and it would have been just a really fun, silly action flick. And it probably would have did a little better. But I think because of the way they had to connect it is what really spoiled it.
I have to admit, I've never watched it, but I agree with the thought process.
A lot of people haven't because it did not do well. It was straight to video. I'm quite sure. I'm quite sure it didn't have theatrical.
No. Did have Tom Berenger though.
Did it? I don't remember exactly. It's been too long.
It's been a while.
Yes.
Been a while.
James, what's your number one? This is the one I want to hear.
Yeah, my number one is, and I love this movie, but I get how on the outskirts it is. It's Marvel's Eternals,
Okay.
and I could see because I again I get how detached it is from a lot of the rest of the MCU, with the exception of the Celestials reference, the very brief peppered in, oh, Thor used to follow me around, now he won't give me his number, or I could lead the Avengers. I just think it's a gorgeous, very mature, very well done superhero movie that I I don't know if it would have done better on its own, but I think it would be just as good.
I know what you mean because it wasn't widely accepted because it didn't fit the Marvel universe pattern.
Yeah.
For me,
So
it felt like they crammed too much in for a movie, or at least a single movie. That one could have benefited from being split up either into like a streaming series, like an hour episode, but 6 episodes or whatever, or just 2.5 hour flicks. It needed a little more in between the each character setup and whatnot. It just it needed a little more polish for me. I always felt like I was missing parts of the puzzle.
And I wouldn't have minded if they had gone the Disney Plus TV series route, because I would have gotten more of. Let me see who played him. Yeah, the what was the creatures that they were trying to hunt down? Deviants.
yeah,
And the one that started to evolve and turn into like humanoid and started to speak and stuff. That was Bill Skarsgård,
really?
the guy who plays Pennywise. Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
And as soon as he was able to voice his opinions in the movie, I thought he became pretty creepy and intimidating. But he had a viewpoint that you could sympathize with, because their species was just trying to survive, and they were sort of being toyed with and just put there to be extinguished.
Okay.
So
Yep. See that.
having more time to focus on them too, I thought could be beneficial.
Okay, I can see that. Now I have to ask: was there a GG2
Geely too?
or Geely 2? I guess it's yes.
No, that movie did horrible.
That I'm aware of.
That's what I
Geely
thought.
2. I think Rob's just messing with me.
Because I'm looking it up, going, wait a minute, I missed that.
Geely 2. Although they did star together again in Jersey Girl.
Yes. Yes, they did.
Maybe that's what he's talking about.
That is close. Well, my number one.
That better not be what he's talking about, because Jersey Girl was great.
I'm still waiting to see the director's cut of that.
Yes, I would like to see that too.
So is everybody, yeah. My number one's going to go back to James's list. I picked Child's Play.
Oh, really?
Oh, the remake?
Yep. Because the core of Child's Play is the serial killer soul in the toy that attacks everybody.
That's true.
This Child's Play is literally Megan before Megan.
Okay.
It's reworked AI.
Because of the TV series, I was confusing what movie you're talking about. And then yes, there was the AI one. Okay.
Yep, Mark Hamill did the voice of Chucky.
Okay.
And zero promotion.
Yep. And like I said, the movie itself is good.
It's got some impressive death scenes.
Yeah, but it is not Child's Play.
No.
Like, there is not a soul of a serial killer anywhere to be found in that movie.
See, and that was going to be one of the things I'm surprised that more of the flicks I had in here. Well, no, I guess I'm not surprised if they did this, but don't shit on the source material.
That's exactly it.
You don't do that. That's the worst thing you can do.
And I'll use the example of Little Mermaid right now. Like, they have a black Little Mermaid. That's fine. The story is still there.
Mm-hmm.
It is the Little Mermaid trying to find, Prince Eric and getting legs, and all the boots are still there. This Child's Play has no beats.
Mm-hmm. Well, but yeah, that's exactly why it could work. It would work. Just call it something else.
They should have called it Megan, and they would have made a ton of cash before Megan did.
No,
Okay.
they
The new
missed the boat.
Snow White. That one might hit a few beats on the opposite scale as well, if all stories are to be believed.
Yeah,
But
there's
yeah,
a chance it's maybe getting shelved.
yeah. Well, there's
There-
not good press coming from it.
Wait,
No,
which one?
Snow White.
Snow White with that Rachel Ziegler and what she's been saying.
Oh yeah. Well, they put out a trailer or a making of or an interview or something like that. So it seems like they're trying to just cruise along.
Hey, they pushed through with Ezra Miller. Just don't show him up for press.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true.
Well, Rachel Ziegler, I don't think is the one making controversial comments anymore.
no.
It was the chick who got ousted from Scream 7.
No, it was. I watched an interview with her where she bashed the original story, Snow White.
Yes.
Oh, did she?
Yes, Rachel Ziegler really kind of shit on the source material, quite literally.
Yep. So it's not been good. We'll just put it there, and see what they do with it coming back.
I haven't watched any of that stuff, so it really doesn't matter to me. But don't do that. That's just, come on, be better.
Especially with the don't tick off the mouse.
Oh yeah, don't tick off the mouse. That absolutely.
If they've called it something else, I bet it would have been a hit and no one would have had an issue. Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, would have been a hit. There we go. Again, look at what Megan did, and it has no connection to any franchise. And it's the same thing. They tweak an AI, it goes rogue, and it wants to eat you.
Yeah.
So we know it would have worked.
Mm-hmm.
But you put that connection and you bash the source material and people go,
Yep. No. And that's, where, yeah, maybe some of the Godzilla movies get away, go a little too far or something. That was part of the charm of that day. Okay. But then Roland Emmerich comes along and Matthew Broderick gets in there, and I don't need to say anymore.
That one's still fun sometimes.
No.
Sometimes.
No. I actually did try to rewatch it like a couple months ago.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it. It just.
But see, I still remember I had the coolest cup holder from that movie.
Oh yeah, we all fell for that damn Chihuahua. Yes.
Yes.
I will say the Godzilla monster himself does look better than the other ones. But that might be it.
There we go. And on that note, guys, thanks for Puppy. There, you can't be mad. We got Puppy. Puppy. We got Puppy here.
Boop, boop, boop.
Where is he? There we go.
Oh no.
You way to knock my screen over, Jason.
I booped with all my might.
You booped too hard.
Yep. Not the first time I've been accused of that.
Aaron says, I've not tuned in for a while. Did a beard swap happen due to a bet? That is Yep. The one that doesn't normally has one, and the one that doesn't. What's up, guys? Well, thank you for that information. You guys can hear me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
You're just choosing not to answer me. Okay, that's fair.
What did you say? You said, "What's up, guys?"
Yeah, beard swap.
I know nothing about that. It just happened. Okay, I just decided to stop carrying the beard.
I've had this for like 2.5 years now.
Obviously, people aren't paying attention, Aaron. No names mentioned, though.
So, hey, Rob, I got a question.
Oh, dear.
There's something happening at the end of April, right?
There is.
CK
CK
Expo.
Expo. Yes. And we've actually made a really big announcement. I didn't pre-plan this, so give me 2 seconds.
Okay, sorry.
No. I should have had things ready, but I didn't even think about it. What are you looking forward to at CK Expo?
Well, the announcement that you want to make, which we talked about on this show already a few times.
Yep.
Okay, that's right now probably the big highlight for me.
Nothing in the podcast lounge? That doesn't
No,
bode well.
I haven't put. I don't know what we're doing there just yet. We're gonna have to. I have to do the reach out and find podcasts to come on the lounge. All right. I need material to work with. I ain't got no material.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay.
But I do want to be there when my daughter sees the Degrassi folks, because I think that's gonna put a smile on my face for a while.
That's going to be fun.
She's gonna freak out. I'll
Oh,
get to see her fangirl.
Aaron said, I love that it's going to be 2 days now. And Josiah says, I'm excited to do photos. He's going to be doing our official photo ops.
Nice.
Yes, he is the guy.
Awesome.
And we've got some fun ones planned because, like you said, one of our guests is Jeanette Goldstein.
Yes, Vasquez.
Yes. Near Dark, Terminator 2, 24, Titanic.
Mm-hmm.
She's been a busy girl.
Yeah. Yep.
It still blows my mind that her first movie was Aliens.
Again, we talked about this last week. I always get Aliens and Near Dark. I always think Near Dark came first.
Yep. Yeah, she set her bar super high by having Aliens as her first movie. Oh, sweet. Yes. Oh, it's going to be so much fun. And I don't know if you noticed there, Aaron, down at the bottom, it's got her in a Starfleet uniform. I'm just saying, there is a Star Trek connection. Oh, yeah. Was that a shot of her in a Starfleet uniform? Apparently, he did catch that. Let me put it back up for you. Yes. I cannot remember. I think one of them was in Lower Deck. She'd lent her voice, but there was others where she was physically on screen, like in that picture. So, yeah. Aaron's like, nice. Another signature for the shirt. Have you seen his shirt?
No.
Oh, dude. It's got like signatures all over it from anybody that's been in Star Trek. Oh, cool. Yes.
He's still got space?
I think he does. Do you have space for people to sign?
He must. He's looking forward to it.
Yes. Yeah, he's got to have room. He could just erase a couple. Move William Shatner, someone else, Maybe get Walter Koenig, move his around.
You can't.
Why?
Is he still alive?
Yeah. His big ad this year was "Come see me before I die."
Oh, really? Okay. Damn.
Yep. I loved that post he put. It was a tweet. And it says, I'm going to be here. Come see me before I die.
That's awesome.
Oh, and Aaron said, yep, there's more space on the arms. Oh, that's right. It was a long sleeve uniform, wasn't it? So, yeah. Because I remember last year or the year before, Teddy signed it.
Very cool.
Teddy Kellogg from Strange New Worlds.
Mm. Very cool.
It was last year.
Yes, it was.
Yeah. This year.
Yes. Last year's expo, we'll call it. Because we're right now talking about next year's.
Exactly.
So this year's expo is last year's expo.
Right? It messes with your head.
Yes.
He says, oh my God, Koenig is awesome. He loves talking about being on, Babylon 5. That's right. That's just it. People know people for one thing and they forget that there are other things out there. But was he ever in Supernatural? That's what I want to know. Then he's made it.
That's your mark?
That's the mark right there.
All right.
Let me see here. Since the last CK Expo, I've gotten 5 more signatures on it. Yeah,
Wow.
it's a crazy collection. So
Very cool.
I totally got Jeanette just for you to get a signature. I'm lying. I geeked out the minute I found out we were able to get her. Because, man, Near Dark, I love it.
Yeah. But Vasquez, Vasquez is an iconic character for me. Like, she was one of the standouts in that film. But that scene, her final scene with her and Gorman going out, like that always got me kind of amped up every time I watched it.
Yep. Oh, he was in an episode of Stargate, wasn't he? Was he? I'm curious now.
Never watched Stargate, never watched Babylon 5. I don't know anything about them. Apparently Momoa was on one of the Stargates.
He was on Atlantis.
Yeah. Every episode.
Really?
Yep. That's where he got his big break.
The guy playing Aquaman started on a show called Atlantis. Really?
Stargate Atlantis.
Still not going to see the damn movie.
Ronan, that was his character.
All right.
And nope, yeah, Josiah says, yep, that's where he did his best work. His Ronan was wicked. Oh God, yeah.
Really?
Yep.
I'm not watching it.
I don't see Stargate listed under Walter Koenig. A lot of cool stuff. He was on Son of a Beach.
Never heard of it.
That was Howard Stern's show, like the TV show he produced.
No idea.
Moontrap, Real Ghostbusters.
Real Ghostbusters.
Yeah, the cartoon.
Yeah.
They had Ghostbusters and they had Real Ghostbusters.
Believe me, I know all about that. I lived through those days, but I didn't realize Walter Koenig did voice work.
Oh wait, Jason Momoa also did Baywatch. That's it. That was drinking. Yep. And then they grabbed him from Baywatch for Atlantis.
Oh, okay.
And then after Atlantis, it was like. But yeah, in Real Ghostbusters, he's in one episode. He plays Vladimir Maximoff.
Oh, okay, cool.
But yeah,
I probably saw it and had no idea.
I do not see Stargate here. There's a metric ton of Star Trek.
Yeah.
I mean, like Star Trek Picard. Where is the other? Star Trek Captain Pike. Starship Excelsior, sorry. Star Trek Online. Star Trek of Gods and Men. Star Trek Phase 2. Star Trek Shattered Universe. Like,
hey, Walter, we're making Star Trek yeah, man. You don't have to finish the sentence, and he signs.
Exactly. Since I'm in. Alrighty. I guess on that note, we can wind this up. For another week at the Movie Madhouse, I'm Rob.
I'm James.
I'm Jason.
We will see you all later.
Bye.
Toodles.
I say, shut up! It's a madhouse! A madhouse!